Did you know that Adolf Loos was a pioneer in the modern architecture movement and had a strong influence on the development of 20th century architecture? The late 19th century to the First World War was a time of turbulence and innovation. Industrialization was advancing at a rate never seen before. With this, many architects were brought forward in the race for modernism. Adolf Loos, born 1870 to 1933, is considered a leading figure in modernism and modern architecture. With his very particular personality for the time and quite eccentric nature, his work and philosophy surrounded the idea of functionality and moving away from ornamentation. One of his most well-known writings was Ornament and Crime, which explored his philosophy of being against ornamentation and sculptural cladding, as stated by Loos in Harry Francis Mulgrave's Modern Architectural Theory, a historical survey. The lack of ornament for these individuals is a sign of intellectual power. That is, in the current stage of cultural evolution, the time and money formerly exhausted on stylized decorations. This shows his stance as thinking it was a waste of resources and effort that was stunting evolution and culture. Ornamentation played a significant part in design language at the time, and this created an air of shock around his work. Loos also had a major hand in creating the round plan, and preferred to design his plans based on spaces and their individual spatial qualities. Looshaus, perhaps being his most famous example, was a perfect representation of Loos' forward thinking through its major removal of ornamentation. Its sweeping ground level and diagonal orientation were designed with classical inspiration to emulate the surrounding streetscape and blend with its fake columns and decorative marble cladding. However, most interesting comes from the upper floors with an abstract washed facade and bare window openings sprawling 4 levels. As stated in Modern Architectural Theory, a historical survey by Harry Francis Mulgraves, all went well until the scaffolds and canvas cover came down in September, revealing the plain white stucco finish of the upper stories. The municipal council held a meeting later that month, and dozens of angry citizens stepped forth to condemn the outrage. As shown, the building was a shock for the time as its simplicity and alien-like look were so different to the neighboring architecture, and Loos had changed the design without permission during construction. It did not help that it was on a main public street either. His response was to add flower boxes on windows to lessen the harsh nature of the building, but this did little to help. It became a joke and thought insulting. Despite being a controversial building at the time, its bold nature and other works like it would come to inspire the upcoming age of architecture, cementing Loos' place in progression.